everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eunice if you're new here. I am collaborating today with another YouTuber, Hunner's Designs. You're about to see her just in a bit, and together we are going to be reviewing an interior done by a big name designer, and she's also chosen a space that we're going to be reviewing, and she's going to be uploading that one over on her channel. So after you watch this review, make sure you go hop on over to Hunner's channel to check out our second review together. And while you're over there on her YouTube, make sure you go check out her other videos. Hunner gives home decorating tips and also has amazing DIYs over on her YouTube. And yeah, if you are curious to find out which space I've chosen and want to review with us, then keep watching. Hello! Hey everyone, so this is Hunner. I already gave the viewers a bit of a description of your YouTube channel, but if you want to elaborate more on what you do, and especially what you do outside of YouTube.
Well, I'm sure you gave a great introduction, but hi everyone, I'm Hunner from Hunner's Designs here on YouTube. I started my channel in 2020 as a new homeowner, sharing the DIY home projects, all that was very new. So I figured I would share it on YouTube, and then decorating, of course, as a new homeowner. And then this year, I actually started my design consulting business. So now I help people more personally with designing their homes. And it's been so much fun. And I really credit YouTube for me finding Eunice. So, so happy to be here. This is my first collab, so I'm super excited.
Oh, I'm so honored. Cool. So you already saw the space that we're going to be talking about, but the viewers haven't yet. So I'm going to show it now. So this is a kitchen done by Amber Lewis and her studio, her team. I am in love with this kitchen, and I'll give a little bit about Amber Lewis's style because she's my current favorite designer. I mean, it's funny because Hunner was saying how her style kind of reminds her of me. But she's got this very laid back. She's based out of California. She loves like mixing a lot of different materials, earthy, natural textures, and her designs are so elevated, but also very cozy and like welcoming.
She really strikes that balance really, really well, which I think like all of us could learn from.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it.
Right. I feel like it's all in the finishes at the end of the day.
Yeah, because I was looking at this kitchen and I noticed that there wasn't that much decor on it. I mean, there's like, that big vase with flowers and stuff on the open shelving, but really just the material speaks for itself.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
My notes that I wrote down for this room, the first thing was the color palette. I just think that the wood tones of the cabinets just really stand out, and I think just kind of is the leader for this kitchen and the overall design. Would you agree, or what do you think of the color palette?
I totally agree. And I looked this style of cabinetry up because I was so curious. It's got a V, hold on, I wrote a note about it, V grooves. So if you look closely, you know how there's lines on that wood?
Yes.
It's carved out in a V shape, which I thought was really interesting. I've never heard of that style of cabinetry.
See, I would have just assumed it was some form of shiplap on the cabinets, but no, that's great. I think that's so unique because you don't often see this type of cabinetry. And I feel like this could be something that any of us could do to our cabinets too if we wanted to upgrade them. If we did do a little DIY on our cabinets, we might be able to recreate that look too. One thing that I did notice about the cabinets that I don't know if you noticed this is that they're all flush. So I learned that there's a difference between cabinets that are flush versus not.
Oh, do you mean flush as in if you look at that one next to the stove, it's literally just flat?
It's basically the faces of the cabinets are all one dimension. There's nothing sticking out except the and I didn't realize that detail until I heard someone talk about it on Instagram about how they built their house and they thought they were going to get flush cabinetry, and then it wasn't, and they were upset. And I'm like, should I be upset? What do I have? And I looked at my kitchen and I'm like, oh, I don't have flush cabinetry. So I think this might be a more high-end type finish.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Still love how she mixed the marble, like the island and the backsplash of where the stove is the
yeah,
white.
I really like that. And I noticed that there's not a backsplash on the other wall with the floating shelves. It's just wall.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty smart because if there's anything that I've like realized with backsplash, and there's probably people with different opinions on this,
Hmm.
where a lot of people will put the backsplash just under the cabinets
Hmm.
and they won't go all the way up to the ceiling with it, so they'll just have the backsplash under the cabinets.
Hmm.
And I feel like with that wall with the floating shelves, if you had tried to do a backsplash, you would have to take it all the way up to the wall, like if you were going for that look.
Right.
Whereas like the backsplash above the stove, that was more easy and like feasible because the range stops the wall. So
Right.
that backsplash still has that like flow of going from
Right.
like counter to top, but it's not as much. Whereas if they put a backsplash on the other wall, they'd have to go all the way up.
That is true. Yeah.
Now I feel like I can't, like whenever I see kitchens with the backsplash just like stop underneath the cabinets, I'm like, no, take it all the way up. All the way up. What about the floor though? Like,
I love the floor.
I
So
was amazed by the floor.
so this floor, if you scroll down like this entire project, it goes all the way to the living room. And I read a little description about it, and she chose that it's limestone, and she chose it because she wanted some of that like rustic farmhouse
Mm.
vibe with it, like the more lived in look, which I thought was so neat how it's carried all the way across like the entire floor. Because you know, like sometimes people put tile and it kind of ends where it meets the living room.
Yeah. See, I like to take whatever flooring it is all the way into the kitchen, not carpet. I would not recommend carpet in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I'd rather have the cohesive floor look than
Hmm.
have a completely different, unless the design called for it. Like if I felt like
Hmm.
the space could benefit from the kitchen floor being different, then
Hmm.
I'd go with that. Otherwise, I would keep it all cohesive, which I
Yeah.
know some people feel differently about that because of water in the kitchen. But like in our house, we have luxury vinyl plank, and that's waterproof and scratch proof. And
Hmm.
we spill all the time in there, but we have not had any problems. Whereas like when water gets underneath hardwood, it can like swell up,
Oh gosh.
or a lot of people
Speaking,
tile because of the water and stuff.
we when we moved in a little over a year ago, we replaced our hardwood floors with real hardwood. And Jason and I are starting to regret it a little bit because so it goes all the way into the kitchen and it's been fine even though we've had some like spillages from the sink and dishwashing machine, but our washing machine, like the laundry machine, has been leaking, and a little square patch of hardwood near that area is like warping,
Oh
like
no.
lifting up, so we have to replace it. And in the future, if we decide to rent out this home, it's just so much maintenance. So I think that's like if we were to redo it, we would have done it with laminate or something like vinyl where it's more waterproof, just because, especially if you're going to rent it out in the future, it's just less costly that way too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that sucks. I'm sorry about
No,
hearing that.
I might make a video about it, about
I
replacing.
saw on Instagram where you were pointing out your laundry and your patch. I saw your
Yeah.
patch. Homeowner problems. I'm
I
telling you.
know.
And how would you like think of these things too? When you're picking out different materials, it's like, all right, which one's the best one? And
Yeah.
nowadays, like kids, pets, we need things that are like practically indestructible.
It's hard. I don't know how designers like do this where they envision it all coming together because
Right.
so
Everything.
many materials to choose from too.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but going back to the floor though, I did like that point that you brought up, like how like it gives this like lived in rustic
Mhm.
look, because I do feel like I don't think it's a trend. I think it's like been it's like a design secret. It's like a design like element that a lot of designers
Mm.
use where it's not everything looks completely new and perfect. It's just this combo of balancing new and modern and contemporary, and then mixing it with some of these like more rustic materials that give that imperfection. Because if you look at the floor, nothing is really repeating.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
stone looks completely different, and I just think that's amazing, really.
That is amazing. And you're so right. The whole like mix of modern and vintage is,
Yeah.
I love that style too.
Well, and you see it in the textile too, right? With the rug.
Yeah.
And then you got the aged wood look above the stove too, like another great
Yeah.
example of
The
like
reclaimed wood,
the
which you
reclaimed
call like
wood.
a plank.
Yeah. I think that's a
Else?
great way to add that detail there too, without the whole thing being wood. Just
Mm-hmm.
having the one plank, I think that was genius.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on open shelving? Because like I love open shelving with the decor on it, but like everyday life, it's hard to have like the boutique style plates on there, and
Yeah.
like it gets messy.
Yeah. So I don't know, like if you remember this, but for our DIY fireplace makeover that we did, I jacked my cabinet from my kitchen and I used it for our built-ins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so I was trying to save money, and then I realized I had a blank spot on my wall in the kitchen. So
Uh-huh.
did I really save money? I don't know. So I decided I was gonna put floating shelves there,
Yeah.
and I have a video on that too, and that
Did
was
you do
worth
it?
3 weeks of my life. It's up there. They work. They're fine. But now that I've been living with them,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like it. I
Mm-hmm.
think I like the closed
The
look.
clothes.
I thought, because it's not like anything I have on there is like clutter looking or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really have basics on there: white plates, white bowls, wine glasses. So it's all neutrals. It's not like completely filled to the brim or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it's still just visually stuff to look at.
Right.
And so I think for my future like makeover that I'd like to do in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you follow Angela Rose Home on Instagram.
I
Um,
think I do. She does a lot of DIYs, right?
yes,
Yes, yes, yeah.
amazing. And she built a hutch to put on her kitchen countertops. And so it's not just a cabinet, but it's an
Yeah.
actual hutch from like counter all the way up. And I thought that was amazing. And actually, in this room that we're looking at right now, that was one of the things I wrote down, was that she has 2 hutches on the counters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not every kitchen can
Yeah.
accommodate that, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like one concern that I had, or that a lot of people would probably have, is, oh, I'm losing counter space if I put a hutch on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually feel like I feel like if anything, it just frees up the counter space a little bit
Yeah.
more, because you're
think so.
hiding stuff. Like you
Yeah.
put the toaster in there instead of having the toaster out, which I don't keep my toaster out now. I put as much like away as I possibly can.
I really wish I could. We just really don't have space. But I think the hutch thing is like a great idea because you could just open it and it's right there.
Yeah.
Whereas like right now I have a few appliances that are in the oven, or like big pots that are in the oven.
Always
I don't
gotta
know if
check
it's an
the
Asian
oven
thing,
before
but
you
we
put
use
it
our
on.
oven for storage. And you have to get it out and set it up. So I really like the hutch idea because it's practical and hides it away.
It's even more practical too if you put the pull outs, so you can like pull out the toaster.
Yeah.
Right. All these luxury finishes that we can do in our homes.
I think I like this amount of open shelving, just like the right amount to display a few things. But it works because this kitchen already has so much storage. So I think it really could depend on the size of the space you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the entire space, it's a really big, like the ceilings are really high, but it still feels so cozy, and it kind of brings you in towards like that middle island.
It definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one thing that like I get nervous about when like reviewing all these like big designers' homes on YouTube, is because most of us here on YouTube are just, trying to decorate our homes. We're first time homeowners, we're new to decorating. A lot of that's who's watching these videos. And
Mhm.
sometimes when we look at these big designer homes, it's like, well, I'm never gonna have a home with ceilings that high or an island that big. And
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes down to it, though, it's more about like, that's why it's so important to break down the elements of
Mm.
what we like specifically in the space, so that way we can incorporate it in our own.
That's a really good point. And actually, to finish like this review off, I forgot I wanted to share with you a quote by Amber Lewis. It was, I think it was an interview with Architectural Digest. The quote is, I have a skewed version of what I like versus what I can afford. My taste is expensive, but I had to be on a realistic budget and knew I could do a lot with less if I honed in on material selection, textures, and colors. And I showed off the best I could given the dollars I have, which is funny because like her budget's probably still like way more than what the normal person's budget would be. But I
Yeah.
think that's the same concept that you're saying now. It's doing with what you have, and I think playing with the materials can really elevate a space even if that budget isn't as big or the space isn't as grand.
Yeah. And I feel like you demonstrate that so well on your channel. Like, it's true. All your home decor and the makeovers that you do, especially the recent makeover that you did, the studio one.
The friend
I had
studio apartment makeover.
that was
I'll
amazing.
link it right here.
Right. When you're new to YouTube making a video, you're like, where do I point again? It'll be linked below, guys. What was the thing?
The studio apartment.
Yeah, it was so good, and I thought you did really great with, you know, the budget and, you know, reusing the space and making the most of it. And I think that's so true. I like that she said specifically about the elements and honing in on like your likes and how you can implement that with what you have. Because, and I feel like this is like a topic I am so passionate about, because I feel like we can get ourselves into some like real financial problems when trying to design and decorate our houses if we only seek inspiration from either like high-end homes or like other people on like Pinterest, or, you know, even other YouTubers. Like, you know, other people's budgets are different, their lifestyles are different, so they have either kids or family or no kids, no family, and they can do things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do. And I just feel like it's so important to like know yourself and like, yes, get inspiration and admire other people's homes, but always bring it back to yourself and like not overextending yourself just because of what you're seeing. So
yeah, that is so true. And I think it comes easier with just more exposure. Like the more you, for instance, thrifting really helped me like kind of figure out that identity of like what I'm drawn to and that I can afford, right? And I think the more you shop around and expose without like take time with it. I think it takes like time. I think in the beginning you try to go all out with this like one photo as inspiration, but with time, with more exposure to things, you'll just kind of figure out that identity, that style identity.
I think the one thing that's helped me is like, now, you know, I'm all my videos lately have been e-designs, like planning my makeovers. I am like so passionate about that, because when you know how you want your room to look, then you know exactly what you're looking for. If you planned to use a basket with your plant, then when you're at the thrift store, you know already that's what you're looking for. So then you save money in a way, because you're not just buying things just to buy them.
Right.
So I feel like that's what's helped me so much, is planning and knowing exactly what I'm looking for.
I really like your e-designs. Go check out Hunner's channel for her e-designs, and she uploads them on her Instagram too.
Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. We're going to be hopping over to the space that Hunner chose and talking about that. So if you want to find out the space she chose and want to continue our review with us, then hop on over to her channel. And yeah, thank you so much for being on this, what do you say, show? Thanks so much for being on the show.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And that is it for today's video. Let me know below what you thought about this kitchen. Is it your style? And if it is, what was your favorite part about it? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more decor, DIY, and home lifestyle videos from me, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well if you'd like to keep up with my project updates. I love connecting with you guys over there. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one.